everyone, and welcome to One Page Math Notes. And in this video, we're going to be going over composition of functions. So let's start off with this equation. So we always want to read it from left to right. So I want you guys to notice that whenever you're doing composition of functions, you always have an open circle. It's like floating in the middle between the two variables f and g. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means this: f of g of x. Okay? So every time you see a parentheses, say the word of. And again, what is this? This means f of g of x. Okay? Now let's go to the next one. It starts with g. So what are we going to start with? G of f of x. Okay? So g of f of x. And that's how you read it. So I thought it'd be helpful if we can read it and understand it properly. Now let's go to example 1. Okay, let's always start with writing the formula. So the formula is g of f of x. Okay, g of, what is f of x? Here it's x minus 2. So let's put x minus 2. And what are we going to do? We're going to substitute this expression into that x. Because what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with f or are we dealing with g? We're dealing with g. Okay? So I don't know what x is. So I'm going to leave it blank. But we know that it's x minus 2. So let's put x minus 2. Now, let's always make use of room that we have. I notice that sometimes I don't do that. So x minus 2 times x minus 2. We're going to have to expand this. In other words, we're going to have to use the distribution rule. We start off with the first term, which is x. And we have to multiply it to the x and to the negative 2. And what is that going to look like? Well, x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is minus 2x. Let's distribute the negative 2 to the x and the negative 2 to the negative 2. Negative 2 times x, that's the same thing, negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And last thing, we combine like terms. We have x squared. These two are the same. So negative 2 minus 2, that's negative 4x plus 4. And again, we always box our answers. Let's go to example 2. Again, write down the formula. What is it starting with? It's starting with f. So f of g of x. F of, what is g? G is x squared minus 2. Okay, we're using function f, so let's look at f. F is 3x. So 3 instead of x, I'm going to put a parenthesis. And what goes in it? Well, x squared minus 2. What do we do with that 3? Well, we have to use the distribution rule. Okay? Now, what's 3 times x squared? That's just 3x squared. What's 3 times negative 2? That's negative 6, so minus 6. And we have to box our answer, and we're done. So that one was pretty easy. Now let's go to a harder problem. Let's go to example 3. And this is as hard as they get. Maybe semantics might get a little bit longer, but it's pretty much as long as they get. Again, let's write down the formula. G of f of x. g of, and then what is f of x? X squared plus x minus 2. Okay. Now again, let's make use of our room here. We're dealing with function g, so we're going to substitute this expression into that x. So 2 parenthesis x squared plus x minus 2 minus 2. So we see how we have like this much room left, so it's good I didn't put it over here. Now let's distribute this 2 . So what do we have? We have 2x squared. 2 times x is plus 2x. 2 times negative 2, that's minus 4. Bring down the minus 2. So what's our new g of x going to look like? Well, we have 2x squared plus 2x, and these two are like terms. So negative 4 minus 2, that's negative 6. So that's our new g of x. But here they want us to evaluate g of x at 1. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So instead of x, what are we going to put? We're going to put a 1. So 2 parenthesis 1 square plus 2 parenthesis 1 minus 6. So what's 1 square? 1 square is just 1. What's 2 times 1? That's just 2. Bring down the minus 6. Now, alright, 2 times 1 is 2. So we are going to have 2 plus 2 minus 6. Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. So we have 4 minus 6. What's 4 minus 6? Well, that's negative 2. Okay guys, this concludes composition of functions. Thank you guys for watching.